Welcome back, everyone. Buckle up, because the Kaspa community is on fire right now. Things are moving fast, emotions are running high, and honestly, there's a lot to unpack. If you've been watching Kaspa lately and wondering what's really happening behind all the noise, from Robinhood listing campaigns to record-breaking trading volumes and conflicting analysis, this is the full breakdown. We'll go through everything that's got the community buzzing, what's real, what's hype, and what might actually matter for Kaspa's price going forward. So let's dive in. This video is for educational purposes only. It is not financial advice. Always do your own research before investing in crypto. So first up, let's talk about what's shaking the Kaspa community right now. According to Pumplinsky, one of the more active voices in the space, Kaspa holders have gone all out trying to get Robinhood's attention. The goal: get Kaspa listed on the platform. The movement is everywhere. People reposting, liking, commenting, and basically flooding social media feeds to show how strong and unified this community really is. Now, community pressure like this can sometimes work. We've seen it before with Dogecoin and Shiba Inu, where online hype eventually pushed major exchanges to take notice. But here's the question: does Robinhood actually care about social media noise? Or are they only focused on things like trading volume, liquidity, and regulatory clarity? Because as much as community power matters, Robinhood's decisions usually come down to compliance and potential revenue. So, while this campaign is great for engagement, whether it translates into a listing is still a big question mark. Moving on, there's been another huge piece of good news making the rounds. According to Katrine, better known in the Kaspa world as Kaspa Girl, Yonatan just took home first place in the Independent Researcher category of the Binance Blockchain 100 Awards 2025. His name is right up there at the very top of the leaderboard on Binance's official page. That's no small achievement. And to add to that, Michael Sutton snagged third place in the Industry Advocate category, another big recognition. Massive congratulations to both of them. Seriously, it's always great to see community leaders getting recognized by major organizations. But here's where I like to play devil's advocate. Does this kind of recognition actually move the needle for Kaspa's price? Or is it more of a PR boost that helps morale while the chart still bleeds red? Because let's be honest, crypto history is full of projects that have trophy shelves full of awards, and charts that look like ski slopes. So I'm curious, what do you think? Are these awards just good headlines, or do they eventually translate into tangible growth? Now, speaking of growth, let's talk numbers, because Kaspa.com just shattered some serious records. According to the official stats, they've hit an all-time high in trading volume, moving over 90 million KS in total, even during what many are calling the worst month for crypto this year. While most of the market has been sluggish or sliding, Kaspa.com has been doing the opposite, setting new monthly and all-time highs. But here's where things get weird. If the platform is seeing record-breaking volume, why is Kaspa's price simultaneously sitting at new lows around 4.7 cents? On the surface, that doesn't make sense. High volume should suggest strong activity. But is that activity buying, or is it selling? Because there's a huge difference. This is kind of like that one friend who won't stop bragging about how many dates they've gone on, but still insists they can't find anyone serious. Like, maybe the two things are connected, right? So are we seeing record volume because people are selling heavily, or are whales quietly repositioning for the next move up? The contradiction is hard to ignore. Let's talk about a post that's been floating around recently. Joe Wong shared a really interesting breakdown on X, where he pointed out this meme that keeps popping up. You know the one, showing people buying high and ignoring dips. He explained that posts like this aren't random. They're a form of psychological marketing designed to spark a sense of FOMO, to make investors feel like they're missing out on cheap Kaspa right now. But according to Joe's data, about 80 to 90% of these posts are pure community hype. Only 10% or less actually lead to any meaningful short-term price movement. Why? Because memes don't move markets. Liquidity, sentiment, and external news do. The memes just make people feel like something's happening. Statistically, the odds that Kaspa's price shoots up immediately after this kind of meme wave? Pretty low, under 10%. But the chance that it reflects optimism in the community? That's much higher, around 70 to 80%. The bottom line, optimism can fuel momentum, but it doesn't guarantee profits. So here's my question to you. Are your investment decisions based on community vibes and memes, or are you digging into the fundamentals and the charts? Because one of those approaches builds wealth and the other builds regret. Next up, according to Kaspa Daily, Kaspa is now sitting at one of its most oversold levels in history. They point out that historically, these kinds of readings have often marked strong accumulation phases, basically times when smart money steps in quietly before a trend reversal. They're suggesting that this could be a great buying setup, that while the market looks weak on the surface, it might actually be the calm before a rebound. But then there's the flip side. Others argue this isn't accumulation, it's distribution. That instead of smart hands buying, big players are unloading while retail gets stuck holding the bag. So which is it? Accumulation or distribution? Because those two couldn't be more opposite. It's like saying it's going to be a sunny day, but also bring an umbrella, it's going to pour. This kind of conflicting analysis drives people crazy. What about you? When you see contradictory data like this, do you get cautious and wait it out? Or do you double down on the version that matches your gut feeling? Now here's something that's a bit more concrete. Kaspa Daily also reported that over 30 million Kaspa coins were withdrawn from centralized exchanges in the past 24 hours. That's a pretty significant move. Typically, when coins are leaving exchanges, it signals long-term accumulation, meaning people are moving their holdings to cold wallets rather than keeping them ready to sell. That usually gets interpreted as a bullish sign. But, and there's always a but in crypto, the price at that same time was still down 6.54% over 24 hours, sitting around 4.7 cents. So it raises the question, are these long-term believers loading up while prices are cheap, or are people just shifting funds around for safety? There's a fine line between accumulation and repositioning, and it's not always clear which one we're looking at. So what's your read? Do you see these massive exchange outflows as a signal that the bottom's in, or is it just another move in the middle of the storm? Now, let's talk about something bold, and honestly, a little controversial. There's a user named Capsa who describes themselves as a Kaspa permabull, and they've been circulating a power law model that predicts Kaspa could reach $1.60 by 2027. That's a 34x jump from today's prices. Their view is that Kaspa's growth trajectory follows a mathematical power law relative to the US dollar, and that over time, fiat currencies will devalue so much that Kaspa's long-term curve looks almost inevitable. Look, I admire the conviction. It's rare to see people this confident about their projections. But let's be real. 34x is an enormous leap. It's not impossible. We've seen crazier things in crypto, but it's also not something you can treat as guaranteed. So what do you think? Are mathematical models like this a useful way to frame long-term expectations? Or is the crypto market simply too unpredictable, too manipulated, and too emotional for models to truly capture it? Now here's where things get interesting. Kaspa report recently highlighted that November has historically been Kaspa's most bullish month. Get this. On average, the USD price of Kaspa has risen about 175% from the end of October to the end of November. But right now, as of November 2025, we haven't seen that massive move yet. In fact, Kaspa closed October down nearly 30%. So is this the calm before the breakout? Or are we just clinging to old data while the market changes its behavior? Historical trends can be helpful, but they're like looking through the rearview mirror while driving. It shows you where you've been, not necessarily where you're going. Still, Kaspa report makes another fascinating observation. They note that on the Kaspa to Bitcoin chart, the long-term candle formations are eerily similar to Bitcoin's early days. Their claim? That in the next few years, Kaspa could outperform not just against fiat currencies, but against Bitcoin itself. They even go as far as calling Kaspa the most advanced form of commodity money ever created. That's a massive statement. They're basically saying that one day, measuring Kaspa's value in dollars won't even make sense because fiat will be too inflated to matter. So I'll throw this back at you. Under what circumstances would you personally stop measuring Kaspa in fiat terms? Would you ever? Let's sum up the hard data real quick. Kaspa is trading around 4.7 cents with a 24-hour trading volume near $56.9 million. It's down 6.5% in a single day, sitting at a market cap of $1.2 billion, which currently places it at rank 58 on CoinMarketCap. So we're not talking about some micro-cap token here. Kaspa is already a major player in the altcoin scene. The big question, though, is whether this current price level represents an incredible long-term opportunity or a falling knife that still has further to drop. And honestly, nobody knows. Anyone claiming they do is either overconfident or outright bluffing. So to wrap it all up, here's where things stand. The Kaspa community is louder than ever. They're campaigning for a Robinhood listing, celebrating major Binance awards, breaking volume records, and pulling millions of coins off exchanges. Analysts are dropping bullish models, historical charts are flashing optimistic patterns, and the long-term believers are more vocal than ever. Yet, the price remains stubbornly low. And that's the contradiction that defines the Kaspa story right now. Sky-high community energy versus bottomed-out price action. This could be the perfect setup for a comeback, or just another lesson in the dangers of hopium. Only time. And the next few market cycles will tell which it is. Until then, stay curious, stay analytical, and don't let the noise drown out your strategy. Thanks for watching. Like the video, drop your thoughts in the comments, and hit subscribe if you want more real-time updates, moves, market trends, and hidden gems.